All right, so I was asked a few weeks ago. Every once in a while, people ask me to help them find a car or look at a car. And someone asked me to help find a car for them on kind of a tight budget. And, automatically, I think Honda Civic or Toyota Camry, you're going to get, you'll find one with a lot of miles on it. But if anyone knows anything, in my opinion, probably most people's basically a fact, Honda and Toyota make the best cars, hands down, pretty much. I know people argue about that, but, Camry, Toyota Camry, these Hondas and stuff, 250,000 miles or more, still running good. Anyway, so I was thinking, well, I'll try to find her a Camry or a Accord or whatever. Took a while. It's a bad time to look for a car this time of year. Everyone's got the tax money, so when a car does come up, I was beat out several times trying to get a car for the person because as soon as it pops up, it's gone. With the tax money and stuff, it's real hard. So anyway, I found this old beater truck and I was going to kind of show it off a little bit. Paid $800 for it. Guy wanted $1,000. I said, there ain't no way I'm paying $1,000 for this beater truck, but we'll give you $800 for it. So he took it, and yeah, so that's where we're at with it. I'll turn the camera around and kind of show you what we got for $800. All right, let's check this thing out and see what we got here. It's a 94 Chevy truck. You can see right there, it's got leaking a bunch of stuff under it already. It's only been sitting here for a few minutes. But yeah, it's a beater. No, we're just joking. That's my baby. This isn't what we got. This is actually what we got right here. It's a Toyota Camry. And it's pretty clean. Obviously, it's a 96. So for being a 96, it's not going to be perfect. But you can see the interior's in pretty good shape. And anyway, it's got 229,000 miles on it. Automatic. She wanted an automatic, which found a lot of sticks for sale. It's got the old 2.2 Toyota in it. Awesome engine. Pretty clean. There's a few things wrong with it. The passenger side axle needs to be replaced. It's starting to make itself known to the world by the bearings in there clattering a little bit. And then I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but someone did a hack job. They changed the oil. It's leaking oil on the exhaust when you're driving it. And it's the oil pan. It's either the oil pan or the oil pan gasket. Actually, some of these don't have gaskets. They just use the silicone. But you can see there, someone went crazy on the silicone. And I don't know, I gotta get it up. I gotta get it up in the air and check it out. But what I was gonna say about it is sometimes on these Toyotas, the oil pan can actually rust or have corrosion holes in it, and that's what leaks. And the pans aren't terribly expensive if that's the problem. But anyway, somebody went nuts on someone tried to fix it and did a horrible job with it. So I'll get it up in the air tomorrow and fix it right. I'm a little bit worried. To drop these oil pans, you have to drop the exhaust down. And I'm sure this is the original exhaust, so hopefully it doesn't fall apart. That's my main concern with that job. So anyway, there'll be some repair videos. Got this car for $800. I don't know. You can tell me how I did on it. It's got a new radiator, newer alternator, the guy said. It's got a newer driver's side axle in it, and it definitely needs a passenger side axle. It's got a new wiper motor on it. 229,000. That might scare a lot of people, but if you know anything about these cars will run 300,000. All you gotta do is just keep oil in them, and that's it, really. These things run like champs. So, pay $800 for it. We'll probably put, it needs a windshield too. It may need a windshield to pass inspection. It's not really cracked that bad, but it's right in the driver's line sight. So I don't know. They may or may not pass it. So it may need a windshield, which that I can get that for about 180 bucks. I have a friend that does that. And then you're looking at the axle and the oil pan, or just a sealer, depending on what it needs. And it should be pretty good. Oh, it has check engine light. I want to kind of show you something on that too. It's kind of funny on these Toyotas. This is a 96, so 95, the government stepped in, the United States government stepped in, said, hey, if you're going to sell your cars in the United States, no matter who it is, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Honda, we got to go to this OBD2 port, universal port, basically. Everyone was going on with their own ports and doing their own things, and, you bought a scan tool. Back in the day, in the 90s, you had to have 20 different cables to hook up to each different car. That dog in the background, it's actually not my dog for a change, it's somebody else's dog. Usually that's my idiot dog making that much noise. Anyway, the scan tools, you had to buy 20 different cables, and some of them had cartridges, and change the cartridge for depending on the manufacturer. And people, when the check engine light would come on, people just wouldn't take it back to the dealership because it cost too much money to... most people, once the warranty's out, they don't see the dealership ever again because it's just they cost too much. So anyway, the government stepped in and said, look, we need something universal here that everyone's going to use, and it needs to be in the cars. I think by 95 is when they forced it. So this is a 96, and it still has the old connector. I want to show you something kind of funny where Toyota hid this. I think the manufacturers at the time were trying to fight that a little bit, and maybe thought they wouldn't have to comply eventually, so they kind of hid the universal OBD2 port, and I kind of want to show you where it's at. It's kind of funny. They got this is another diagnostic port on these Toyotas. A lot of them put them on the fender wells, but there's the other diagnostic ports under the dash. I'll show you where it's at, where usually OBD2 port's at, and then I'll show you where the OBD2 port's at. Nothing really about this car, but anyway, you can tell me what you think, how I did on this. It took me probably 3 weeks to find this car. I was looking for Camrys, Accords, Civics, Corollas, and they were just desperate to find anything, and I really was trying to steer them away from, any of the General Motors, and just anything that was in their price range would have been a nightmare. And I normally don't like looking for cars for people because, buying a used car is like playing Russian roulette. You never know. You can look over the car, do a 300-point inspection on it, and it can turn out to be the biggest lemon ever. So I don't like really being put in the spot like that. I'll look a car over for somebody or whatever. You have to do that if you're a mechanic. But, I hate doing it because... I've personally bought cars that I thought were great cars, and they turned out to be pieces of junk. And then I've had a Ram. Short story, but I had a Chevy van I was fixing up. Someone stole it, and I bought this old Dodge Ram. Thought I'll just drive it for a few months till I get my van back or until I find another van. Well, I've had that truck now 8 or 9 years. The truck won't quit. And it's like I didn't expect anything out of it. It was really rough when I got it, and body-wise. It's got 230 or 40,000 miles on it, and I've probably put maybe $500 into it in the last eight years in the actual mechanical part side of it. The truck's been awesome. So it's like playing the lottery or the Russian roulette or however you want to say it. You never really know what you're going to get with these cars. But anyway, you can let me know how I did in the comments. I guess only time will really tell. I'm pretty happy with it. You wanted $1,000 for it. Off from 700, we went back and forth a little bit, and I was ready to walk away. That's the one good thing about, buying a car with someone else's money is you can walk away. You're not emotionally attached to in any way. And he was showing me, I got all these messages about this person wants to look at it or whatever. I said, that's fine. I said, I'm not real wild about dropping the oil pan down and doing all that work again. So, doing someone else's shoddy work over. So I was like, ready to walk, and let's just do the deal, 800. So that's what we got it for, and I'm pretty happy with it. We'll see. Time will tell. It's got pretty good tires on it and everything. I really think maybe $500 more, and you'll have a good, solid, reliable car that'll pass inspection, and It should last a while as long as it's taken care of and the oil is kept in and everything. So anyway, I'm going to show you that port where it's hidden at, and then we'll end this video out. All right, you can see here where normally the OBD2 port would be. They still have the Toyota port, diagnostic port in there. And if you know about, you know, the OBD2 ports, it looks completely different than this. So since it's 96, it has to have the universal one in here. And this is what Toyota did, which I think is kind of funny. If you open up this, I guess the coin tray or something, and kind of pull in on these tabs and pull it out, you'll find the OBD2 ports right here, the universal one. So I guess Toyota didn't really want you to find that or whatever, playing games, but it's kind of, I think it's kind of funny, but that's where they're at. If you have one of these Camrys and you can't find it, the port's right here. So anyway, there'll be some more videos coming up for this car. We'll do the axle and the oil pan and check out the check engine. Just got a check engine light on. We'll check it out. And anyway, those videos will be coming up shortly. So I guess